Ancient foes squaring off militarily in the eastern Mediterranean. Are Turkey and Greece inching closer to war? Both are members of NATO, American allies. Well, joining us to provide some insights on this volatile situation is Hudson Institute Senior Fellow Michael Doran. Mr. Doran served at the National Security Council, the State Department, and Pentagon under President George W. Bush. Michael, it's good to have you with us. So I guess tensions are high. Both countries are flexing their military muscle in the Eastern Med. So please explain, what's this dispute all about?
Well, first of all, hi. Thanks for having me. There are two different interpretations about economic rights in the Aegean. And the Greeks lay claim to almost all of the Aegean on the basis of the islands that they have in the Aegeans. The Turks say that basically the sea should be split between the two based on the continental shelf. They say that Greece's economic zone should proceed out from its continental shelf, not from all of the islands. The Greeks have the UN law of the sea on their side. The Turks have some other international agreements and interpretations of international law on their side. What I think the U.S. interest is here is to find a negotiated settlement between them.
So who actually has the rightful claim, in your opinion, internationally recognized claim, I guess, to the territory where the oil and gas deposits are located?
Well, I'm in the minority these days in Washington, in that I think that the Turks have a very strong claim. And are being treated in an unwise fashion by the international community. I think we've allowed a lot of attitudes about Erdogan to color our interpretation of a lot of things that are going on with regard to Turkey that actually have nothing to do with Erdogan. I think every Turk regards it as just sort of commonsensical that Turkey, which has the longest coastline in the Mediterranean, should have a significant economic zone.
Well, we're seeing some new alliances, an agreement between Turkey and Libya, another between Egypt and Greece. What role are Libya and Egypt playing in all this attempt to dominate the Eastern Med?
Well, that's what the Turks have intervened in Libya, and one of their major reasons for intervening there, I think, was in order to assert their position with regard to their rights in the Aegean and the Mediterranean. Because by the Greek interpretation, if they own all of the Aegean or all of the economic rights of the Aegean, and then the Greeks cut a deal with the Egyptians on the other side of the Mediterranean, they can sort of divide it up between themselves. So what the Turks have done is they've gone over to Libya, right next door to Egypt, and they've created an alternative line, an agreement with the Libyan government to divide up the Mediterranean differently. So basically, it's just a lot of people are asserting claims, and it's going to have to be sorted out through negotiation.
Well, both Turkey and Greece are NATO allies. Now, that would be kind of messy for NATO members if one of those countries attacked the other militarily, because an attack on one NATO member is considered an attack on all. I don't think NATO ever expected that one of its member states would fight a war against another NATO member. How would NATO handle that, Michael? Might the EU pressure an alliance with Greece over Turkey?
Well, this is what one of the roles of the U.S. We've faced this before with regard to Greece and Turkey. In the Balkans and in the Middle East, the U.S. often finds itself in a position where its allies don't get along with each other. That's one of our major roles to play, is to come in and to be the mediator, the negotiator, and kind of the shock absorber between them.
The Germans have been very active diplomatically to bring cooler heads here. So if the Germans are doing it, does the United States have a role then?
I think the Germans have been playing a good role, and I think the U.S. should be in there backing up the Germans, or maybe even getting the Germans to back up us. What we have, which the Germans don't have, is we have military power. We have a certain weight in international affairs that the Germans don't have, because they don't really have a military.
You think this is going to result in military conflict?
You know, if you'd asked me this question a couple of weeks ago, I would have said no way. I thought that this was just going to head toward I thought we were going to have a little bit of rhetorical escalation, and then there was going to be some kind of diplomatic process that would sort it out. Now I see that the escalation has moved to the next stage. But look, if there's military action, it's going to be limited military action, and then there's going to be a negotiation. I'm sure that the American negotiators are going to be in there saying, hey, guys, why don't we just skip the military stage and just have the negotiation?
Well, that sounds like a good plan. Okay, Michael Doran. Thank you, Michael, for your time and insights. We appreciate it.
Thank you.